What'd you say?
Is that recording?
Yeah, I can trim the
Good.
beginning though.
Yeah, I wouldn't go see. Say one of the co-owners of Cross Brothers Landscaping.
Alright. Hello, I am here with a co-owner of Cross Brothers Landscaping, John Cross. How are you today, sir?
Good, thank you.
Okay. Now, I would like to ask you a couple questions about your business and startup and all that.
Sure,
Sound good?
sure.
All right. So, what does it mean to you to be an entrepreneur?
I think it means identifying a need in whatever sector or service that you're looking to do, having a need or a service that needs to be done, and then putting together the resources and the abilities to provide that service for a profit, to the public.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Who would you consider to have been a role model to you or an inspiration?
I think a definite role model would be my mother. In the sense that she was a very hardworking, generous, and caring person,
Mm.
and I think that when you add those traits and qualities together, I think that's a recipe for success.
All right.
I also believe that the first boss I had, during my job that I kept throughout high school and college in a restaurant
And where was
was
that?
it was at a Chinese restaurant. It's
Okay.
called the Little Hunan,
Okay.
and I started washing dishes, cooking, a waiter, worked up through various levels of jobs over the almost 10 years that I worked there. One of the big takeaways from that was because it was not always an easy job to work at. My boss was a very demanding individual, but what he did help instill in me, whether for good or bad, was that you have a work ethic. You do your job, you work hard, you do the job the right way. And I think I've taken that sense and that purpose and moved forward through my entire life with that.
All right. So, would you say your mother could have been like a motivation to you, or?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right.
She was a motivator to make me want to do better in life and and be a hard worker and be a generous and caring person. So yes.
All right. All right. Thank you. Um, what would you say were some of the biggest challenges when starting or buying into your business?
Well, the business was first started by my brother, the other owner of the company. I was more along. I helped finance it and gave some insight and some suggestions starting out. The biggest challenge was where to focus the limited resources or limited amount of money that we had to start the business, where to put the dollars to get the best bang for your buck. And where we focused on doing it was the equipment to actually perform the service that he was starting, which was a landscape and mowing company. So we did not have the funds to purchase a new truck, a new trailer, new mowers, new trimmers, all of that at once. So what we asked ourselves is what piece of equipment is going to generate the most revenue for you, and that was a new actual lawnmower, which back at the time was about $8,000 for that. So we purchased a new mower, a new trimmer, a new blower, and had an old trailer, an old truck, and focused our money on the piece of equipment that was going to generate the most revenue, and then just build it from there. So the biggest challenge was where to allocate limited resources at the beginning and startup phase of the company.
So, opportunity costs.
Well, there was definitely opportunity cost because if we dumped all of our money here, we would not have any money to go there. Or if we went out, some people like to go out and try to buy a new truck and have it lettered and look all fancy to start with. The money was not there to do all of those things, and there was a conscious decision not to leverage and go into debt when we started this business. A lot of people can do that. They'll go in and they'll borrow money, they'll leverage. But if you do that in a lower profit business such as, landscaping and mowing, you're already starting out with debt. Whereas we took the approach of start out with this amount of money, self-finance moving forward, and buy your equipment and upgrade your equipment slowly over time.
All right. Could you give me an overall development of the business, like background and stuff like that?
The business started in roughly 1995. My brother started the business. He was doing it part-time while he still worked at a manufacturing company. Several years into that, the manufacturing company closed down, so then it became a full-time endeavor, for him. Started out with a few customers, one truck, one trailer, one mower, one blower, and slowly over the last 20 years, and I joined the company roughly 10 years ago, and our goal has always been to slowly build the company in terms of customers, quality of customers, equipment, and keep continually reinvest in the company. And we've done that and grown successfully through that. We've incorporated a mix of residential and commercial customers where we still do many homeowners, but we also do larger business accounts as well. And, we've continually improved our mix that way. So we have grown to a company now that we do over, a couple hundred accounts a week. We have anywhere between 4 and 12 employees, 2 full-time lawn maintenance crews, 1 to 2 landscaping crews. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of where we've gone to.
All right. What are some advantages and disadvantages of owning a business, in your opinion?
Well, advantages are you don't have to work for someone else. Advantages are if you've gotten to the point where you have enough employees, if you want to maybe take a morning off and go do something, you can do that. Other advantages are, for me, the freedom to grow the business and to see the results of your hard work. There's many other advantages, but that's a couple of them. Some disadvantages as well is, especially in this type of business that we own, it's a very capital intensive business. You have to continually reinvest into new equipment to have the best equipment to service the customers. So it's a very intensive business in terms of investment and capital. And really just managing when you're in a service business such as we are, we take care of people's homes, their landscaping, everything else. It's the personal touch that has allowed us to grow this business through us talking to our customers and maintaining relationships. And at the same time, that can also be a detriment because as you've grown over the years and gone from 50 accounts to 200 accounts, trying to maintain that same level of a personal touch and service is demanding on you. And then just dealing with multiple numbers of employees and all of the paperwork and issues involved with that. That's some of the challenges of running a business as it grows.
All right. Last question. Who would you say are some of your top competitors in the business?
Top competitors. We're a mid-sized company, so we have competitors that are the larger ones, such as American Beauty, Patron Brothers, Enviroscapes. They are the ones that go after the very large accounts. And then you have all of these smaller entry-level companies that come in and they may not have a full understanding of how to price a situation and price a job, and come in and underprice themselves to try to earn the very fast dollar instead of pricing themselves properly for the long run and being able to gain more equipment and reinvest into the business. So we really have main competitors that start all the way from the bigger companies down to the lower ones. That's why we try to not have our business looked at as a commodity business, which a lot of people do. It's simply as a service. We try to add that extra touch to it in terms of service and being on time and relationships with these customers and these business owners that make us stand apart, so that we're not just viewed as the guy who comes and cuts our grass or puts down the mulch, that we are more than that, that we're forming relationships and businesses with them, and that's how we try to overcome and gain our competitive advantage over these other companies.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Perfect.